Let's explain how to include one YAML file inside another. YAML, or YAML ain't markup language, is a human-readable data serialization language often used for configuration files. Sometimes you'll want to break down a large configuration into smaller, more manageable files. This is where including one YAML file within another becomes useful. We'll cover two main methods, using the include directive, which requires a YAML processor that supports it, and a workaround using a scripting language like Python. 1. Using the include directive. This is the most straightforward approach if your YAML processor supports it. The include directive allows you to directly specify the path to another YAML file, and its contents will be merged into the current file. For example, let's say you have a file named base YAML containing common configuration settings, YAML database, host, localhost, port 5432, and another file, config YAML, that needs to include those settings. YAML, include base. YAML application, name, my application. When you process config YAML, the contents of base YAML will be included, resulting in a combined configuration. However, remember that support for .include varies across YAML processors. Some parsers might need specific plugins or configurations to enable this. It's crucial to check your YAML processor's documentation for accurate usage instructions. 2. Using a scripting language, Python example. If your YAML processor doesn't support or include, you can use a scripting language like Python with libraries such as PyYAML to achieve the same result. This method offers more flexibility and control. We first read both YAML files using the YAML safe/load function. Then, we update the dictionary of the main configuration file, config YAML, by updating its contents with the contents of the base YAML file. Finally, we dump the combined configuration back to a YAML file or use it directly in your application. This approach avoids relying on the include directive and ensures broader compatibility. 3. Important considerations. When using either method, careful attention should be paid to potential conflicts. If both included and including YAML files define the same keys, you'll need to manage potential overwriting. The order of inclusion can be crucial. Later files can overwrite settings defined in earlier files. Also, ensure the paths to your included files are correct relative to the location of the main YAML file. Incorrect paths will lead to errors when attempting to process the combined configuration. This approach ensures broader compatibility and avoids the potential issues associated with relying on the include directive's implementation within specific YAML parsers. Choosing the right approach depends on your specific needs, the YAML processor you are using, and the complexity of your configuration. The scripting language method provides more control and adaptability, but the include directive is cleaner if your YAML processor supports